What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's been a while, and I'm sorry I haven't been consistent with my uploads, but we're back, and I got a cool resource right here. Final exam, Calculus 1. It's not my final exam, and let's get started. So, question is, the graph of f of x is shown above. Find limit of f of x at x equals 5. Even though f of 5 or x equals 5 is defined as 4, as you can see, that's not the limit, because the limit is only what happens when you get near a point. So you can see that when you get to 5 from the left, it approaches 6, and when you approach it from the right, it approaches 6. So the limit of f of x as x approaches 5 equals to 6. That's your answer. So the answer is gonna be 8. So find the derivative of g of x equals 3x plus 4 minus 6x plus 2. Even though the definition of a derivative is this thing, f of x plus h minus f of x over h, I'm not going to use that because I do not want to do 3x plus h to the fourth. No, I do not want to do that. So what I am going to do, I'm going to use the power rule, n-a-x to the n, where a is the coefficient, n is just the power, and x is your x, or your variable. It's pretty intuitive to understand, but I'm gonna just do it anyways. 3 times 4, so this times this, 12. Keep your x, 4 minus 1, that's gonna be 3. Then we could do it the same thing. This is an invisible 1, 1 times 6, that is just 6, but then 1 minus 1, that's 0, so x drops out, because x to 0 equals 1. I mean, you could just get rid of that 1. If you have just a term like this f of x equals 2, derivative would be just 0. We can see that our answer 12x cubed minus 6 was just e. So for this next one, I'm gonna try direct substitution. You could do that for limits. Anytime you have a limit, you just plug your number back in. 8 times 1 minus 9 x, or 1 squared minus 1, that'd be 1. 1 plus 8 minus 9, then 1 minus 1. That's gonna give you 0 and over 0. That is not defined well. But what you can do, you can factor, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So that would be x plus 9, x minus 1, and this is just difference of squares, x plus 1, x minus 1. And now cross these out. Now you could plug it in. 1 plus 9, 1 plus 1 equals 10 over 2 equals 5. So the limit is 5. And you could see I could do this because this was a removable discontinuity. It's a whole, it's not a vertical asymptote. I'm fine. Don't get mad at me. It's D. For this question, we have a piecewise solution. So what is f of x to third minus 2x, if x is less than 2, x plus 1, if x is greater than or equal to 2, continues at x plus 2. You can see here that the split happens at 2, so we're going to evaluate at x is 2 with the limit. We're going to use the same substitution. So 2 to third minus 2 plus 2 equals 6. 8 minus 4 is 4, x plus 1, 2 plus 1 in this case is 3. And these are not equal, so the limit is not continuous because these two functions do not meet at the same point. So no, f of 2 is defined because it's not like a 0 over 0, so no. In this case, since the limit from the left is not equal to the limit from the right, 4 and 3, they meet at different points, it's this one. The limit does not exist. That's called a jump discontinuity, and yeah, it's not continuous. Alright, this one, I'm gonna be honest, I had to reread it a couple times to understand what it meant. I might be a little slow, but it's pretty easy enough. So suppose that y equals negative 2x plus 5 is equation of the tangent line to a function f of x at 3, f of 3. If possible, find f prime of 3. Remember that the derivative is just the slope of the tangent line at a given point, and in this case it would just be the slope, negative 2, so the answer is C. Alright, for this question, which of the following is the derivative f of t equals to cube root of t plus 1 over cube root of t squared. I'm gonna rewrite that as t to the 1/3 plus, since this is reciprocal, I'm gonna do t to the 2/3 negative. We can do the power rule. Let's just do minus 3/3. That's equal to 1, but it's easier to calculate. And then we move this to the side right here. So that'd be 1/3 t minus 2/3 plus, we do the same here, minus 3/3. Move this here. We keep the negative sign. And that would be negative 2/3 t to the minus 5/3. Then we could just distribute 1/3 minus 2/3 minus 2/3 t to the negative 5/3. And then we compare the answers. Now for this one, can't really take the derivative of this one and then divide it by the derivative of this one. We have to use something called the quotient rule. I'm gonna write it down. So let's just say you have a function f of x equals to ux over vx. Quotient rule states that the derivative would be the bottom function times the derivative of the top function minus top function times derivative of the bottom function over the bottom function squared. So now we just do that, we plug it in, so we have x squared. So we just plug in what we have over here, the bottom function x to the 3rd minus 1 times the derivative of the top function, so that would be 2x minus top function times the derivative of the bottom function and over the bottom function squared. And it says here to not simplify, so we just compare answers. So it would be B. Alright, I'm gonna do one more. So for this one, we have to find the derivative of this function right here, f of x equals x squared times sine x to the 4th plus 1. Find f prime of x. This one is kind of weird because you have to use 2 rules, not just one. You see here, sine x plus 4 plus 1, that's a function inside another function. You have x to the 4th plus 1 inside sine of x, so you know you gotta separate. So what I'm gonna do the product rule. First of all, the product rule is in the form f of x times g prime of x plus f prime of x times g of x. I want to say that we could plug in our functions, but we can't yet because remember we still have the function inside the function, so we have to separate that first. So for that one, we have to use a chain rule. Chain rule follows that the derivative is f prime g of x times g prime of x. So let's do that. The derivative of sine function is cosine. You keep what's inside, x plus 4 plus 1 times g prime of x. So you have to find that. So that would be 4x to the 3rd. We just substitute this back into our product rule. So that would be x squared times g prime of x, or cosine x to the 4th plus 1 times 4x to the 3rd plus f prime of x, or derivative of f of x, 2x because of the power rule, times g of x sine x to the 4th plus 1. We can rewrite that as 2x times sine x to the 4th plus 1 plus all of this, x squared times cosine x to the 4th plus 1 times 4x to the 3rd, and that would be equal to e. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys stay tuned for more. Like, subscribe, view, share, all of that helps. Thank you. Have a good day.